Hey all, and welcome back to some more Mario 64. In today's episode, take a guess what we're gonna do. You got 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. If you said we're going to another world, well, you're half right. We're going to another world, and we're also going to be taking out Bowser 2. So, to get to our next set of levels, and by that I mean the Bowser stage and our next main world, we have to go through the second big star door in the basement. So, like I mentioned in the first episode, behind every big star door, for the most part, lies a Bowser stage. However, you see this wiggly, watery wall, and a little podium behind said wall. That little brick outlay thing is our next Bowser stage, while this water wall is our next stage. So, unlike every other stage, we can just simply walk into this one. So we're at Dire Docks. We have to board Bowser's sub. This is a pretty simple star, all things considered. To get to Bowser's sub, we have to just come into this little cave here, and then we follow the coin rings, and then finally follow the arrows. Now, I do want to bring this up as well. In order to spawn the next Bowser stage, we have to beat this particular star. Now, if you're playing the original N64 release, you could just do a backwards long jump and simply zip your way through past the Dire Docks loading zone and simply walk into the second Bowser stage. We can't do that here, as this is not the original N64 release. So, to get onto Bowser's sub, we have to push this button here. This button will spawn some blocks. We can take the blocks to simply reach up onto Bowser's sub, and then just simply grab our star. However, there is an alternate way of doing this particular star, and it's my preferred way of doing this star. If we jump up onto this little fin here, we can swivel the camera around so it's facing the right way here, and we can do a double jump here, followed by a triple jump off of the back of the sub. Such as so. 1, 2. No! Oh. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Uh-oh. Get me out of here. Okay, let's pretend that didn't happen either. We're gonna just jump up onto the little fin here, do a double jump, 1, 2, and then a triple jump off of the back of the sub, and that's how we can get this star a little quicker without screwing around with the button. But when we collect this star, we spawn our next Bowser boss stage. So as you see, that wall of water went backwards. That gains us access to the second Bowser level just in this little brick portal here. Heading in, we're brought to Bowser and the Fire Sea. This is actually one of my favorite stages in the game. I'm a big fan of this particular Bowser stage. I prefer it over the first Bowser stage and the third Bowser stage, even though I think the third Bowser stage is a fairly well-constructed stage. It's not my favorite. However, Bowser and the Fire Sea is built a lot like Lethal Lava Land, in which there's a lot of lava, and it's a very, very platform-heavy stage. So you're going to want to watch your platforming, and hope you don't fall into the lava repeatedly, because that is the only way that this particular stage is going to take away one of your lives. We're going to get up onto this grating here, so we don't have to worry about falling into the lava, and we can skip over some moving platforms. So our next plan of attack is coming up this moving, would you call this a stairwell? I probably wouldn't. I'd call it a ramp myself, but definitely not a stairwell. But coming up the moving ramp, we can come up a little bit higher onto the stage, which is the third part of the stage, which is pretty much the home stretch right before Bowser. Ouch. So, like breathing water from almost drowning underwater, coins do heal you as well. I should be bringing that up in the first episode, not right now, during the second Bowser stage. but what can you do, right? So once we're at this point of the stage, just do a quick long jump to avoid the crumbling bridge, and we are at the end of the stage. Now, the crumbling bridge does respawn, I believe? I guess not. So, we're just going to jump into this giant funnel, and that will bring us to our second Bowser fight. Pestering me again, are you, Mario? Can't you see that I'm having a merry little time, making mischief with my minions? Now return those stars! My troops on the walls need them. So, the first thing we're gonna do when we exit this cutscene is, we're going to run away from Bowser, because he's going to jump and tilt the whole arena. So, once you feel you're at a decent enough distance away from, away from Bowser, you can slide down and hopefully grab his tail. Now, if you're too far away from Bowser, Bowser will teleport, and it's a random chance that he'll teleport while you're chasing his tail, so just keep an eye on his teleporting, because he also has his charge from the first fight as well. So, when you have a good lineup on the bomb, give Bowser a throw, and that's that. Can it be that I've lost? The power of the stars has failed me. This time. Consider this a draw. A draw? Come on, no, I beat you fair and square, Bowser. Next time I'll be in perfect condition. Now, if you want to see your precious princess, come to the top of the tower. I'll be waiting. So defeating Bowser here gets us another key. Now this key, like the first key, is used on a locked door. The only other locked door that we need a key for in the entire game is in the main hall. So this is for the first locked door that we came across in the game. Now, I didn't know about this little fun fact until much later, but the boss keys in this game that you get off of Bowser are supposed to be the big key from Link to the Past. So that's something. Alright, so now that we've beaten Bowser in the Fire Sea and have gotten our next boss key, we are going to head right back over into Dire Docks. Chests in the Current. This is a bit of a trickier star than we're used to at the present time. So, to get this particular star, we have to go underwater. And the first chest we're going to be opening is this one right here. So, like the Plunder in the Sunken Ship and Secret of the Ocean Cave from Jolly Roger Bay, we have to open specific chests in a specific order. There's 4 chests, like the first 2 chest stars, that we have to open. Opening them in the wrong order, we get zapped, and we have to do the star again. Now, if you've noticed the giant vortex in the middle of the area, well, in the middle of this particular room, if we get sucked into that, it'll take away one of our lives, and we have to do the star again. So just try not to get sucked into that vortex, because that would really suck, and we don't want to be doing this star over and over again. But now we got our next star from this particular stage. Right over back in, we are not pole jumping for red coins, because we're not doing that. Instead, we're going to screw around with the Stingray. So to get this particular star, we have to swim through 5 of these rings that the Stingray spawns, and they have to be consecutive rings. I've never gotten the star that quickly before. That's really convenient. So don't get sucked into the vortex here either, because you'll have to do the star again. Why does it want us to do pole jumping for red coins? We're just acting as if the red coins don't exist right now, because technically I'm not doing those yet. So I'm acting as if the red coins don't exist. So for this next star we're going to be doing is collect the caps. So what we have to do is we have to head back over to where Bowser's sub was. And if we head back into this particular room, you'll notice that Bowser's sub kind of isn't here. That's because after we've defeated Bowser, Bowser boarded his sub and went into that void. Do not swim into that void over there, because if you do, you will spawn outside of the castle, and you'll have to come all the way back down to the basement just to try this star again. So what we're going to do is we're going to break the Vanish Cap block, walk through this wall, then break the Metal Cap block, and head into the water. Now we're going to head straight towards that caged star. This star requires you have both the Vanish and Metal Caps unlocked. The Wing Cap is completely optional. Vanish and Metal Caps are not. So, pole jumping for red coins is still not being done. I do want to add a little bit on to that previous statement I was making. All three of the caps technically are optional. However, if you want the stars, and you're going for 100% star collection, the caps are very much so mandatory. So, I wouldn't really worry too much about collecting the caps if you just want to beat the game. And speaking of just beating the game, we technically only need 70 stars to beat the game. We are well over halfway there, but we're going for all 120. So, to get our last star of the day, we are going to swim underwater once more, and like the Stingray star, we are going to swim through 5 of these watery rings to spawn our last star of the day. Now, in order to get this star, is a little bit interesting. We have to head back to the surface of the water, swim back over here, and collect the Metal Cap again, as it's the easiest way of how you're going to get this particular star. There's a trick in Jolly Roger Bay, and here you can do, to collect this particular star, where if you do frame-perfect inputs, you will swim faster than the current can push you, and you will slowly make your way towards the star until you collect it. I've only done that once. I'm not going to attempt it, because I know I can't do that. So instead, we're going to collect the Metal Cap and head down to the ocean floor here. And with the Metal Cap, we can just stand in the current and not be pushed around. So with that, we got our last star of the day.